Welcome to another HBAR update. Like always, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. And yeah, I have not made a video about this in a very long time, and that's because, it was just going down. I have actually been covering this coin since it was down here, and I did tell that at some point we will have to get a third wave, and what do you know, we went from like 6 cents or even 4 cents down here to about, let's see, about 40 cents. So it went up like 10x. And of course, people got in this coin when it was going up here, not when it was doing this over here, of course not. So yeah, probably a lot of people are down right now, but HBAR is actually holding up quite well. And if you look at the support zone, we are not even at the 0.382 support level, which leads me to believe that we will have a bigger move to the downside, and it's possible for, HBAR to get to even the 50% extension. Now, before I continue with this, let me explain what we're actually doing right now, because maybe some of you don't know that, and maybe you have not watched my previous videos. Let's go on the 4 hour for this. So after getting the second wave right here, after getting that low, which was an AC wave of the ABC structure of the second wave right here, after getting that low, we formed 5 waves up, and right now we have a first wave move. Now what is this first wave for? Well, this is the first wave of the main third wave move to the upside. Now I don't know if this will play out like this, because this structure is extremely weird, and if you look at what happened in the previous cycle, I mean, in the third wave up here, we did not really get 5 waves. This was a very messy third wave move to the upside, so don't expect the cycle this time to look any different. It's probably going to be as messy as this, which leads me to believe that we will not really track the wave count, but I'm just going to have it on the chart anyways, because I mean, so far it has worked out pretty well, so we'll see if this continues or not. And yeah, I mean, the third wave right here, the minimum target for this third wave is the 200% extension of the 1-2 setup that we have on the chart. This is the 1-2 setup that we started after getting the bear market low in, let's say, December or January of 2023. And yeah, I mean, HBAR is still looking very good. Like I said, we are above the 0.382 support level, which is very nice, but this leads me to believe that we will get a much bigger drop before we actually continue. I mean, if you look at the blue line right here, which is the 200-day moving average, I mean, we could drop to this level, and this is currently at about 15.9 cents. And if we drop to this level, we will most likely have a much bigger drop, because, for example, here, after we dropped below it, we had a big drop. So I could see something like that happening again. And of course, I'm not bearish on HBAR. I still think that it could even get like 81 cents by the end of the cycle, maybe even $1.31. And I think this drop that we are getting right now is actually very similar to what we had over here exactly 4 years ago. If you look at this drop right here, this happened at the exact same time of the cycle. It pretty much, started in January or something, and it, ended in pretty much February. And after that, we went up again. So I think this is where we are at in the cycle right now. Exactly 4 years ago, we were pretty much at the exact same price, which, I mean, could mean that we will not get a new all-time high. But even if we do not, I mean, we should at least get near it, in my opinion, and if we do, that's still going to be okay. You have to keep in mind on the long-term chart, if you zoom out, we are still in a 1-2 setup of, a much bigger third wave, and this third wave is not expected to finish anytime soon. I'm expecting this third wave to end in like 10 years or so, and in this cycle, I'm only expecting to complete the first wave of the main third wave, and the first wave right here will need to go up in 5 waves, which means that, yeah, this cycle will be just that, and the next bear market will be an ABC. Now you have to keep in mind these long-term targets may not play out. Maybe HBAR will just go to 0 all of a sudden. Of course, that's very unlikely, but who knows? I mean, this is crypto and it's obviously extremely high risk, so you never know what could happen. Now, I mean, if you look at the daily chart, for example, the daily chart is actually looking very good. We are oversold on the daily, and this is very nice, because the last time we were oversold was down here when HBAR was at like 4 cents. Right now we are at 18 cents. So this could be a good sign. However, you have to keep in mind that before this move right here, we got to the oversold territory about 4 times. And yeah, during that time, we kept putting in lower lows. So it's possible to get oversold here, then go up a bit and then get another low. And like I said, that's not bearish, but you also have to know what Bitcoin is doing right now. And Bitcoin, speaking of Bitcoin, I mean, as you can see, it's currently at $80,000 and things are not looking too great, but this move to the downside is actually very normal. And I don't know why people are panicking. I mean, in the 2017 cycle, we had multiple of these moves. I mean, we had like 12 of them, I think, and I mean, this is one of them, this is one of them, this is one of them, this is one of them. So yeah, it happened multiple times. This is actually very normal for a bull market, and I'm still expecting Bitcoin to bounce extremely soon. Now, let me talk about Bitcoin for a second, because whatever happens with this, it's gonna be important in the long term for HBAR. So as you can see, Bitcoin is currently in a fourth wave move down. It's almost at the 50% extension, which is the support level of the fourth wave, and we could bounce right there. We are at about, let's say, $80,000 right now, so we could get to about $75,000, and if we do not bounce right here, it's actually likely that Bitcoin drops to $69,000. Now, I don't really want to see that happening, because if that happens, it's not going to be good, and there's going to be a chance that we are in a left translated peak and not in a right translated peak. So I don't really want to see drop below this low right here. That would also turn the third wave right here into some kind of, let's say bearish pattern. So we definitely do not want to see that. So what we need to see right now is a bounce. And am I expecting a bounce? Well, actually, if you look at the RSI, I mean, it's oversold on the daily, and it has not been this oversold since we were down here at about, let's say, $25,000. And I mean, this could be a good sign, but you have to keep in mind here, after we got to the oversold territory, I mean, we did not really do anything for like 2 months. So it's likely that we just go sideways right now for like a month and a half, and maybe we even go sideways until the end of March, which would go perfectly well with the fact that I'm expecting Bitcoin dominance to start dropping by the end of March. And if we do that, then Bitcoin could do something like this, and then all of a sudden pump at the end of March, maybe get some kind of lower high or something, and during that time the altcoins will finally manage to wake up and they will start outperforming Bitcoin, and Bitcoin dominance will start going down. As you can see, we got to above 64% right here. We got a new cycle high. It turns out this high right here was a big fake out. And yeah, I'm still expecting a move like this to happen again. And I mean, this move to the downside on the Bitcoin dominance chart happens every single cycle. So I think this cycle will be no different. I don't think that Bitcoin dominance will go higher than this. Maybe it will get like 66%, but it cannot really go up forever, which means that at some point we will have to get a move to the downside, and Bitcoin dominance could drop like 40%, maybe in the next year or so. And I see that happening because in the previous cycles, I mean, this move always happened in the post-halving year. So, I mean, right now we are in a post-halving year, so I'm expecting that to happen just because of that. Now, maybe it's not going to play out like it did in the previous 2 cycles, but I still think that it will. And if that happens, I mean, HBAR should do extremely well. But keep in mind, if we go sideways on the Bitcoin chart until the end of March, like I said, then HBAR could still get another low, maybe to like 12.7 cents, maybe to like even 9 cents. And I know from where we're at right now, that's still a 50% drop. But you have to keep in mind that HBAR is actually holding up quite well, which is actually not that bullish, because, I mean, what happens when it does not want to, hold up anymore? It will just break down, and of course, I still think that that will happen. Now, if it doesn't happen, I mean, you could say that I was wrong, of course, but if it does happen, do not say that I did not warn you, because it's definitely possible to get another low before we continue. So, I mean, yeah, HBAR is looking very good. Now, you also have to keep in mind that if you look at the Ethereum chart, Ethereum is currently testing the 0.618 for the 4th time, and if we do not bounce right now, this could lead to a much bigger drop. It could even lead Ethereum to getting like $1,800, maybe even below that, which means that if something like this happens, HBAR could start dropping extremely soon. But don't expect this to, last the entire cycle. Even if we do get a bigger drop and we even get to like $1,400, that's still going to be okay, because the bounce to the upside, it's going to be even bigger. And I still think that Ethereum will be able to get to new all-time highs by the end of this year, because it did that in every single cycle so far. And I mean, most of the gains on the Ethereum chart came in the post-halving year, so it's definitely possible that we do the exact same thing right now. And if we do, I mean, Ethereum still has like 10 months left of this year, so there's definitely time to get new all-time highs. And I know people are losing patience right now, but this is a waiting game, and if you are patient enough, you will make make money. If you are not patient, you will lose a lot of money. So be careful not to FOMO in when coins are doing something like this, and instead, to focus on actually buying in the support zone. Focus on when coins are actually near bear market lows, because that's the best time to buy, not right now when HBAR is already up quite a lot. I mean, even from this low right here, it's up like almost 5x. So if you bought this low right here, of course, you would not complain right now because you are still up. And HBAR, yes, it did drop like 50% from this high right here, but you have to keep in mind that it went up like 10x in a matter of like a few weeks. So HBAR is still holding up quite well, and it could, in my opinion, get to all-time highs extremely soon. But if we got another low before that, it would not be the end of the world. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check out our YouTube memberships and our Patreon if you want access to all of our charts, and if you want access to our daily Discord updates. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.